Hallo Leute, willkommen zurück zu meiner YouTube channel. And today's video is kind of a long-awaited video. Granted, I did post a video last night where I was high, and I'm not apologizing for that video because I don't feel like I should. So today's video is kind of like a long-awaited video that I've been waiting to upload, only because I feel like on YouTube there isn't a lot of these videos about people with the disorder personally that have bipolar disorder, and they don't really know a lot. I mean, they may know a lot, but they may not know a lot because they don't have the disorder themselves and they're just psychologists. Granted, psychologists are great people. They're great at what they do, the majority of them. But I will say someone who actually personally has a disorder is a lot easier to understand than someone who doesn't have a disorder and is just reading off of a textbook or reading off of their notes or reading off of patients that they have dealt with. So I thought I might as well make this video because it can help everybody out who maybe knows somebody with bipolar disorder, may think that they're bipolar or is bipolar and just wants a better understanding of someone who actually has a disorder like myself. So without further ado, we're going to get into this video today. Now, I guess the first question is, what is bipolar disorder? So bipolar disorder is a disorder where you have manic and depressive. They used to call it manic depression back in the day. I still call it that because it actually is easier to explain that way. But there is mania and there is depression, or depressive, because manic depressive is still like the same thing as bipolar. So what that is there are some times where you will have a manic episode where you'll be very, very quick, wanting to get things done, being really hyper, and then there's a depressive episode where you would want to not do anything, you don't really feel like a reason to live. Well, you may not be suicidal, but you may just not want to do anything all day. You want to stay in bed, you want to stay home, you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to communicate with people, you don't want to do anything for that matter, and you just feel horrible, you feel depressed, which does help me understand it because I do also have depression, severe depression along with this. So it does also help me understand that, and those of you guys to understand it. And there is also two different types. Now, I am the type 1 according to my doctors. The type 2 is a little less severe, where they may not go into rages, they may not have these episodes, not nearly as bad. But I honestly feel like I'm kind of a combination of the two. But I'm mostly bipolar 1 because I go through rages, I go through mania, I go through depression, I have mood swings every so often. I can't control all of my emotions sometimes. And that's to say with bipolar 2, they probably can't control their emotions sometimes too. That's with anybody who has this disorder. So the next question from what I have on my notes is, what's it like for my day-to-day life with the disorder? Now, I will say it varies every single day. Like, everybody has good days, everybody has bad days. Today, my day was shit. That's kind of why I'm making this video, not because it triggered my bipolar disorder, but just because I'm cooling down, feeling pretty good. I just felt like making this video because it's going to help everybody. But my day-to-day life is a little bit different every single day. There are days where I feel a little depressed, and then there are days where I feel like I am on top of the world, I'm amazing, feeling good. But most of the time I'm neutral, where I don't feel manic, I don't feel depressed. Other times I feel like I'm more depressed. I usually get the depression side of the disorder more than the manic or the mania side. I don't know why that is. I'm not exactly a doctor nor a psychologist, but I am a psychology nerd. I would say the reason why is because I do also have depression, and that does contribute to a lot of it. I'm at least blaming it on that too. And also hormones. But living with this day to day is hard at times, especially if I'm supposed to get something done. Especially if I have a day off where I'm supposed to be getting 1,000,001 things done. I'm overwhelmed. I mostly will feel overwhelmed with this at times because I have so many things to do in one day. And I only have one day off to get it done, and I may be working late the next day, and I may be just all over the place. So I'm definitely on the fence. Like right now, I'm neutral. I don't have any kind of episode. I haven't had an episode for like a few weeks now, so of course everything's different. And we do get mad like anybody else. I do also get sad like anybody else. It may come worse. It may not come as bad. Honestly, I don't really get mad that easily compared to when I was first diagnosed, where I was getting mad all the time. But I found out that it was my medication that was making me react so quickly and hitting people and hurting people. It can get that bad, but my day-to-day life, I don't beat people up every day. Hardly at all, actually. I've actually got coping skills for that, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So the next question is, how bad can you get with this disorder? I will say if you're institutionalized for this disorder, it's pretty bad, but you may have also underlying issues with that too. Like you may be a little bit schizophrenic. You may be a little bit BPD, like borderline personality disorder. That's different from this disorder. I used to think they were the same because their abbreviations is about the same. But you can get pretty bad. I've known people with this disorder that are way worse than me. And I had it passed down genetically from my father. Unfortunately, I have to deal with this every single day, but my father was way worse than I was. I was not nearly, of course, my father had other issues. Besides that, he was absolutely awful, very abusive. You can also be super abusive with this disorder too. And, well, my father was also an alcoholic, but that's a different story. So you can get really bad, but you can also not be as bad. Maybe some things will make you tick. Like I definitely have triggers that may be horrible one day, but the next day I'm fine. And there are days where I may have the disorder really bad, where everybody's pissing me off, which after work that everybody did piss me off. It seemed like I was getting everybody angry. And through no fault of my own, really. I've had a really shit day today. But that doesn't really excuse the fact that I have this disorder and I can't exactly switch on and off on my emotions. I used to be like that, where I would be switching off, where I would one second I was happy, next second someone said something that pissed me off and I went apeshit. It depends per person. And it depends how your disorder is and what kind of triggers you're around and whatever. If there are any triggers. Hopefully there aren't any triggers. So, coping skills. I have a few ways that I cope with this. I usually will meditate, or I will do my music stuff, or I will talk to somebody through a suicide hotline. Now, I know that sounds really weird to talk to someone through a suicide hotline or through a crisis hotline, but it actually has been very helpful for me, at least, because I don't have really anybody to talk to on this matter, because I don't like burdening people with this disorder, and I always feel like I'm a burden on people anyway. But I feel like the people through those hotlines are there to help, and when I need help, I usually always go with them, even though I'm not suicidal at all, ever during my episodes, but when I feel like I need help from somebody who can actually hear me out and see me through, instead of yelling in my face and being like, okay, you can control this emotion. No, you can't. Mental illness is not something, there's a lot of stigma between it, but I will say that having a good coping skills, I don't have any support system really, so I'm not exactly alone, but I don't trust people very well, and I have horrible trust issues. I'd rather not have someone talk. I just don't know hardly anybody that has this disorder in my own life. I only know one other person that has this disorder, but I always feel like a burden on her. So I also think that if you have good coping skills, I think breathing is the main thing that I would recommend anybody who has anxiety like myself. I have a lot of mental issues, not including bipolar disorder. But if you have, I've noticing that breathing, because I sometimes will forget to breathe because I'm a singer and I can go long spools times without breathing because I am a singer professionally, but some people are not. And there are people that aren't. I feel like most people in the world are not. But if you have good coping skills, like what I mentioned before, I'd highly recommend meditation, even like a guided meditation. I've gotten advanced enough in it to where I didn't even like guided meditations. I mean, I liked them because they helped, but I don't want someone talking to me while I'm meditating, so I always have something plugged up in my ears. Granted, I usually have like my headphones on that are noise canceling, or that I can't hear anybody talking around me or talking above me, talking below me, anywhere, because I don't like when people talk to me while I'm meditating because it's my quiet time. I also have kind of recently, just a little bit ago, I was doing some Tai Chi, at least I think it was Tai Chi. I don't know if there's like a special way to do it. But I also have been doing Tai Chi. Yoga is one thing that I also do, but I've been doing yoga for quite some time now, and it has actually helped me calm down. You definitely feel a lot more relaxed, which I actually feel a lot more relaxed now that I've done that. And the next question is, does everyone that you know that you have a disorder? No, not everybody. I don't tell everybody this. It's not that I keep it a secret. I used to keep it a secret in school because my doctors told me not to tell anybody. But if things are silent like this, and someone may have the disorder, or you may, I don't know. I feel like things like mental illness, there's so much of a stigma around it, and I think the more people know about this, the more educated people are on this, the better the world will be. So even, like, I mean, I had a horrible school nurse that was really bad. I would always get panic attacks while I was in high school. It was like my junior and senior year. I think I had like a month straight of panic attacks every single day, no matter what, without fail. I would always go down a certain hallway, and I don't know why it would happen. It just something triggered it. And I ended up with panic attacks. So I ended up in the nurse's office the last period of the day, every single day, almost every single day, for a month until like school was over. And that was a lot. Nevertheless, not everybody knows that I have this disorder, or people know more that I have anxiety really badly, because I do show that more than my bipolar disorder. Because being bipolar sucks, and I feel like I can get really angry depending upon what it is, especially certain topics like current news stuff that's been going on lately. I get so sick of hearing about it that I'm honestly done talking about it. But no, not everybody knows that I have a disorder. Really, my family's the main people that know. I do have friends that know that I have a disorder because I don't like to stay too quiet on it, especially if I act a certain way towards something or someone, where I would get angry a lot. Not everybody that I've known in my past knows that I have this disorder. Next question is asking if I'm medicated. I am medicated at the moment. I have been trying not to. I just have to be medicated. It's like to that point where I have to have some kind of a medication to help me kind of regulate these episodes and this whole entire thing, because I can't really, I don't know. I mean, I can sort of control it, but at the same time, not everybody with a mental illness can control their behavior very well, because mental illness is different than being defiant, being, a total dick. So, yes, I am medicated at the moment. I have been for a while now, for about 8 years now. But that's only because I actually do have to be medicated or I'm going to go insane. Yeah. What are my episodes like? So my episodes are like a lot of times, like I've mentioned before, I'm very depressed a lot of the time. I act like I have severe depression all the time. I sleep in bed. I do nothing. I don't really talk to people because I don't feel like talking to people. And when I do talk to people, it's usually about something stupid or something that I really just, I'm just trying to listen to somebody when I don't even really want to talk to anybody. But they do feel quite awful because you feel like you're sick when you're really not. I mean, you're mentally ill, but you're not like physically ill. And that's what mine feel like, at least. I mean, I definitely sometimes go through times where I'll have to maybe not take my medication one night because I was running low, or because I have to try and make it last, which is probably like my worst nights, because I end up all night with an episode, and then I end up trying to get through the day with that episode, and then the next day I'm fine, which is weird. I know a lot of people are probably listening to this video and being like, you don't have bipolar disorder, you're just depressed. No, it's bipolar disorder, most likely. Definitely, actually. And the next one is, have I ever been hospitalized? I have not been hospitalized for this disorder. I've been hospitalized for other things, not even regarding this disorder. I've been hospitalized mostly for dehydration and for constipation. That was actually fairly recent, though. I've also been hospitalized for other things, but those are the two main things that I'll talk about in this video. What's something you wish everybody knew about the disorder? I wish people were more understanding of this disorder, and that the reason why we may react a certain way, get angry easier, or get upset easier, isn't because we're being defiant. It's because we have the disorder. We aren't trying to be defiant or mean. We can't control that behavior sometimes, and that's something people have a hard time understanding and thinking that I'm doing this because I am angry. Yes, I may be angry at you at the moment, but or I may not be able to control my emotions, but I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, if I tell you something that involves understanding, like if I'm trying to get you to understand why I'm having this and you're not even letting me talk, that's bad. And I try to make people that if they ever witness this stuff, witness me or anything going through an episode, that they know why I'm doing it, or like why this is affecting me so much, because people aren't very understanding nowadays. People are highly judgmental nowadays. So going off that, is another thing, people understanding what it's like to have the disorder. Nobody in my family, my immediate family, or probably my extended family understands what I'm going through because they themselves do not have the disorder. I mean, the only would be maybe, I don't know very many people that can understand this disorder, which is why I always have to call a suicide helpline or a mental health helpline, because nobody listens to me. But, which is horrible to say out loud when everybody's like, oh, people probably listen to you, Effie. No, nobody really listens to me. And it's annoying. But that's the end of this video, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I helped you guys out here who need the help, or who just, wanted to see what it was like to live with bipolar disorder. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.